One of the biggest responsibilities of this transition has been to choose the next corporation counsel for the city of New York. Now, many New Yorkers don't know exactly what the corporation counsel does, but I can tell you it's one of the most central roles in government. It's one of the roles that touches literally every part of government and therefore the lives of every New Yorker. There will not be a piece of legislation or an executive order or any major action that we take as the city government over the next 4 years that doesn't have the approval and the support of the city's top attorney. The Corporation Counsel's office also happens to be one of the largest law firms in the United States of America, in this case a public law firm. It defends city employees, it fights to uphold our laws, protects the rights of every New Yorker. And my vision for this office, as with all parts of government, is a progressive activist Corporation Counsel's office. And the office will be integral to achieving our broad progressive agenda. The new mandates we plan for the creation of affordable housing, the expansion of paid sick leave, protecting community health care facilities, and of course, reforming stop and frisk. All of this work will directly involve the Corporation Counsel. The Corporation Counsel will represent the city on the crucial issues of the day, whether it's public health, public safety, you name it. This key agency will be deeply involved in making sure we get it right, and we get it done, and we get it done effectively and efficiently. It's a position that requires someone with a particular temperament and a particular kind of experience. It requires toughness, conscience, and a fundamental commitment to the rights of every New Yorker. Many believe that if there's one role in government that serves as the conscience for the rest of the government, it is the Corporation Counsel. And of course, in making this decision, I needed to find someone who shared my commitment to the kind of government we believe in. A progressive government, an effective government, and a diverse government that represents the people of this city. Having looked at many strong candidates, and I don't think there's any role for which we had more outpouring of interest than the role of Corporation Counsel, it became very clear to me that there was no one more qualified in all of New York City to play this role than Zach Carter. For nearly 40 years, Zach has risen to become one of the most accomplished attorneys, not just in the city, but in the nation. He began his career as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York in 1975. He rose to become the Eastern District's criminal division deputy chief, then a criminal court judge, then an assistant district attorney, and later a magistrate judge. So he has extraordinary breadth of experience in many elements of government law enforcement. In 1993, he was named by President Clinton as the first African-American U.S. attorney for the Eastern District. And for 6 years, he was the U.S. attorney in that particularly high-intensity district. He distinguished himself as one of the most aggressive and most effective prosecutors in the nation. Now again, some people may not know Zach Carter's name, but they sure know his work, they sure know the results that he produced. He helped to convict Vincent Gigante, the last of the big-name New York Mafia dons, on racketeering and murder conspiracy charges, including the plot to kill the rival John Gotti. Under Zach's leadership, $50 million was recovered from insurance underwriters who manipulated claims after the tragedies of Pan Am Flight 103 and TWA Flight 800. He worked to help shut down a multi-state narcotics gang that had come to dominate Bed-Stuy and carried out numerous violent crimes across Brooklyn. He helped to successfully bring dozens of drug and racketeering prosecutions. And he was instrumental in the prosecution of the perpetrators in the Abner-Louima case. His work extends beyond his legal professional career. He's chairman of the board of the Hale House. He helped to turn around that Harlem charity and provide social services to children and homeless families. He's been on the board of the Vera Institute, the Brennan Center, many of the great progressive organizations of this city. If anyone has ever worked to end the tale of two cities, both in their professional life and in their personal commitment, that person is Zach Carter. Now, Zach is a person of deep conscience, And still today, after an exemplary career, he remains deeply committed to the rights of his fellow New Yorkers and the need to create opportunity for them. And he agreed to return to public service. And I'd like to just editorialize, it could have easily said, I've done all I was required to do, but he has chosen to come back and serve again, and serve the entire city of New York. And I can't tell you how excited I am that he agreed to join us. I think it's going to allow us to achieve so much of our agenda. Let me just offer for our friends in the Spanish media, Zachary Carter será un luchador por los derechos de todos los neoyorquinos. Él nos ayudará a realizar nuestra agenda progresista. It is a tremendous honor to welcome back to public service and to welcome to service of the City of New York our new Corporation Counsel, Zach Carter.
Well, it's not often that I have to lower the mic. But thank you very much, Mayor-elect de Blasio, for this extraordinary honor. Throughout my career in public service and in private practice, I tried to use the law to level the playing field for those seeking equal access to justice and to opportunity, free from the burdens of discrimination based on race, national origin, gender, sexual preference, or economic class. I've had the good fortune to work for and with people who share my values in this regard. Today, I've been given the opportunity to serve under a mayor, Bill de Blasio, who has made those values the centerpiece of his agenda. Both of us believe that prosperity and access to opportunity should be broadly shared, and that we have failed as a society when we do not meet the needs of the least advantaged among us. As Corporation Counsel, I will have the privilege to lead a New York City Law Department that employs roughly 700 skilled and dedicated lawyers. It is the primary responsibility of those lawyers to protect the legal interests of the city and its citizens. But in advancing the city's interests, we must always be mindful of our duty to seek fair outcomes that reflect our commitment to justice. Knowing what is just or fair in any particular case will not always be easy, and not every decision will be popular. But the pursuit of justice and fairness will move us closer to the mayor's vision, and I believe the vision of the overwhelming majority of New Yorkers for an era of shared opportunity and prosperity and justice. In my career, I have seen what a dedicated group of professionals can accomplish with a strong sense of purpose. I am optimistic about the future of the city under Mayor de Blasio's leadership, and I consider myself fortunate to have the opportunity to play a role. Thank you.
Just have to say that, yes, when you think about the enormity of this role, and as many of you know, I served in City Hall, on staff of City Hall for 4 years early in my career. And I saw daily, literally daily, how so much of the work ran through the Corporation Counsel and the Law Department, but I saw even more profoundly that the voice of the Corporation Counsel, that voice of conscience, that key analytical voice in figuring out the best way and the most appropriate way to do things is absolutely indispensable. And the more I got to know Zach, the more I heard from others their tremendous respect for him. The clearer it became to me he was the perfect fit for the work that we have to do and will help us again to achieve our agenda quickly and aggressively. And with that, I'd like to take on-topic questions first. Bob?
Talk about how this marriage came to be. You reach out to Mr. Carter, did you reach out to you in the case of cajoling to get him to accept the position?
Do you think there was like a yenta involved or something? The matchmaking process? You know, I don't get into all the details. I'll simply say I've known of his work for many years, had a lot of admiration for him. I've talked to many people throughout this process that we thought about different roles, and Zach's name came up quite a bit. And I will bluntly say that the first time I met with him, I was convinced on the spot that we had the chemistry, the communication, the shared values. And further, as you heard from the litany of major cases Zach was involved in, Zach has walked through the fire already. I dare say being one of the key figures in running New York City day to day is not for the timid. It is tremendously advantageous if you've been through the tough circumstances before. And he has played on the biggest stage, and so I was convinced he could come into the role immediately and do well. Yes?
More about expanding paid sick days now? Expanding paid sick days?
Yep. Well, I've said throughout the last year that we intend to, as soon as possible, move forward legislation to do what we originally sought to do, to make sure that paid sick days is covering many more people and more quickly. So more details to come on that, but that's something we're committed to.
Mr. Mayor-elect, I was wondering if you could discuss the swearing-in ceremony and
On topic. Let's try that again. On topic. I want to exhaust on topic first, since this is what we're here to discuss today. Anything else on topic? All right, now off topic.
All right, the swearing-in ceremony. I was wondering if you could discuss whether or not you reached out to President Clinton, or if he reached out to you to swear you to office.
Again, I don't tend to get into the tick-tock of things like this. I can simply say, I'm happy to say I reached out to President Clinton, and I was very gratified that he agreed. It means a lot to me personally. We will get to work right away on reforming stop and frisk. We will get to work right away on expanding paid sick leave coverage. We'll get to work right away on the efforts to start the expansion of affordable housing. Obviously, the efforts to protect community hospitals, and dare I say, we will make a supreme priority of passing legislation in Albany to tax the wealthiest New Yorkers so we can have full-day pre-K and for every child at pre-K age, and after-school programs for middle school kids. So that core will dominate the beginning of our agenda. Thank you very much. See you all soon, and a very happy New Year again.